What's happening, Abdullah?
Nothing much, bro. How about you?
I'm good, bro. It's been a minute.
Really has been, man.
Yeah. Listen, so, we're here today. We've been talking about doing something of a podcast slash radio slash comedic intro into, almost want to say, the YouTube sphere. But all jokes aside, honestly, it's really cool. I'm glad to be doing something like this with you. If I may ask, tell us about AFOUR.
Oh, man. Like, where do I start even? AFOUR, like, how do people know it? It's pretty much a powerlifting competition that happened in Liverpool for GCC students. But to me, AFOUR is more than that. It's a brand. It's something that I talk about with real pride. It's because nobody has done the same concept before in the UK. And plus, with other societies, people usually follow the same blueprint of card games, football every once in a while. Yeah, I'd say just about that. So I wanted to really spread this big sport in Qatar, something that's on the rise, which is powerlifting. But of course, like, students won't understand that idea of like, hey, you're about to back squat, bench, and deadlift. So AFOUR was pretty much surrounded on deadlifts. It's because anyone can deadlift. Anyone. If you're a bodybuilder, if you're athletic, if you're a CrossFitter, if you're anything really, you could deadlift. It's just the safe haven that I've created for students to have a chance at competition.
Okay. That's awesome. How did you get into fitness? Let's go, baby. No, seriously.
I'm supposed to ask you that question. How did I come into fitness?
Well, I can give the viewers a background. I remember, I'll never forget, I was sitting at the zone. At the time I was training your brother, you'd be coming in and out, doing either a couple of classes or you'd just be like following different movements. You're like a shadow, you know? You're just trying to figure yourself out. And I'll never forget, I actually thought that you were living in Doha. And after a while, your brother was telling me, no, he studies overseas. He's in Liverpool. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So, like, what's his deal? What does he do? Your brother at the time was like, nothing. He just messes around with his friends.
A professional serial eater.
Oh, bro. Kellogg's, baby. He just hangs around with his buddies. You know, he's part of this Liverpool club. They play card games, etc., etc. Just, you know, the basic, I almost want to say like Qatari lifestyle. And there was that one distinctive day you walked into the gym. You didn't do a class. You weren't following any people around. It's like you just started. You're like, I'm just going to do something. And I watched you pick a dumbbell off the floor. And I was like, this kid needs help, man. You know, like, he needs help. And that's how we met, right? I mean, I came up to you. I was like, hey, what's happening? How's it going? What are you doing today? And we laughed. We're like, I don't know. And then, I mean, the journey started, you know. But what I really wanted to get down to is, not in terms of like, when did your fitness journey start? Like, when did your excitement for sport and fitness start? Like, your background, when you were a kid, like, did you play football? Did you play tennis? Were you part of a running club? Like, even from primary school, like, was there any form of sporting, I want to say, any form of sport or recreational sport that you played when you were a kid, or even something that you watched? Like, did you watch football when you were younger? Did you watch athletics?
I was a crazy Man United fan
really?
When I was younger.
Oh, awesome.
It comes from my brother, of course.
Okay.
It's just every Wednesday, every Saturday, I was just sitting in the living room. I heard this mad noise coming from my brother's room of him just like shouting at the TV. I'm like, what's this guy doing? And And then I knock the door, and then I just see Man United at its prime.
Red Devils.
Like 2013 Alex Ferguson era.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I just picked up that habit from him. Started playing FIFA. And I just had a passion for football. Signed up for the school's football team, playing against other schools. I was this really good goalkeeper until I broke my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see you being a good goalkeeper. You're super tall, man. You got the wingspan of not a seagull, like an ostrich, man. Eagle.
6'2".
Yeah, exactly.
baby.
Well, that's awesome. Okay. Who did you play for?
I
The
played,
academy team?
it was just like one of the government schools.
Okay.
It's Tariq bin Ziyad. It's real close by to my house.
Okay.
It's one of the schools that I've moved to. It's because man, I've moved into so many schools. I just noticed.
Out of rebellion?
Man, I 3 schools.
Okay.
I moved into 3
Why?
schools. Man, I really don't know. It's because I grew up in Al Maha Academy.
Okay.
It's a British curriculum. So you're destined to do your IGs and your A-levels.
I see.
So I was trying to escape from that. So I just went to a government school. And then there was this 1 year left of high school. And it was COVID. It was 2020. Then I was like, yeah, I want to change schools. I want to go to a different government school. My friends are there.
Okay.
I changed schools, never go. I never attended. It's because it's COVID. I just went for my exams. So I really don't get the point of that, but hey, it happened.
You ended up in the UK anyway, though.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. So you played footy, broke your hand. And was this during high school or primary school? High school?
That was middle school, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was this kid who really wanted to prove himself.
Okay.
It's because this one kid that gets picked last.
Okay.
That's me. So I just walk in. I just mess up a few sessions, and then I go back home. And then my brother just kept on telling me, man, you're tall. For a middle schooler, you're tall. You should be a goalkeeper. Then I was like, yeah, okay, why not? I go to Go Sport, pick out the cheapest gloves out there, go into the next session. Hey, I'm a goalkeeper. Turns out I'm good at it.
Mm.
And my class actually picked me to play in the school's tournament. First match in, I break my hand. First match in. There was this one guy. This guy's name is Nimr. The translation of Nimr is tiger. This guy was this, bro.
He was born for it.
Bro, he was born for it. If you just see this guy, you would guess that his name is Nimr. He's huge. Man, he's huge. For a middle schooler, he's huge. And then he just took a shot from the middle of the pitch. I save it with my forearms. And that's how it happened, man.
So you broke your hand with the ball.
Yeah.
The ball ricocheted, hit your hand or your forearm, and it broke your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I recovered.
Nimr's got a shot on him.
Man. I told you, this guy's a brute.
Yeah. And how old were you? Middle school is?
12, I would say. 12 years old, 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's a journey. Tell me, though, so you finish, break your hand, you come back, you get to high school. You play any sport in high school, or was it just FIFA, chill with the guys?
It was pretty much FIFA and chill with the guys. I usually just probably once a year, I was oh yeah, summer is close. Let me sign up for a gym. I'm trying to look good.
All right.
I just hop in for a week or two, and I just leave.
Okay. Finish high school, end up in university. How was the UK? That must have been a trip, man.
It's
coming from Qatar.
It's a wild transition. It really is. It's because you see, the lifestyle here in Qatar is so different, and you get a lot of how can I say this? a lot of privileges here in Qatar that are not available in the UK. So I go to the UK with like the realization of, oh wait, I have to rent my own apartment, I have to wash my own clothes, I have to cook my own food, I have to clean my own apartment. So it was something new to me, but like that's just discipline. You just have to learn it like at a certain time of your life. And then yeah, I just got used to it. Time flew by. I got homesick so quick. I remember I skipped uni for a week just to go back to Qatar. It's because like, man, I was so homesick. And then, but of course, 2 years in, when I signed up for QS Liverpool, and I was appointed as the vice president, like that gave me motivation of like, yeah, okay, I have something to do. And then, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about that. How did you end up under that committee? Like, what made you want to become part of that community?
So pretty much so there's a Qatari society in all areas in the UK. So any town or any city that has a group of Qatari students, they'd usually have a Qatari society. In some cities, it's not as active as others. So Liverpool is known to be like where all Qataris go. It's the city that has the most amount of Qatari students. And QS Liverpool was not active for like 2 years, due to COVID, of course.
Okay.
So there's this new guy, Abdulla Al Nasr. He just got appointed. And he was just like all alone. Like he was just doing all of the work by himself. So I was just telling my friend group that, hey, I'm bored. I have nothing to do. Like you get that feeling of like, hey, I'm in a void. Like I feel empty. Like I have no purpose.
Yeah.
So like they made a joke out of it, saying that, hey, why don't you sign up for QS? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Why not? And then they were just like laughing about it. I sign up. We started hosting a few events, some card game events, football. And what did we do also? Yeah, it was like mostly like football and card games.
I remember you also said some poetry. Like they'd have like a poetry.
We organized it.
Yeah.
It was just we couldn't actually do it. It's because due to the lack of students that are available at that time.
Okay.
So it's not in our interest to actually host a poetry night.
So the events that QS Liverpool do, it's only for Qataris, or is it for also GCC students?
It's open to all students.
Okay.
Not just GCC. So even if a British guy walks in and he wants to play a card game,
okay,
or he wants to learn, I'm like, yeah, sure, walk in.
Okay, I see.
It's a community.
I see. All right, awesome. Epic, man. Yeah, just to bring it back. So then we meet in this, we meet in the zone, and I'll never forget, obviously asking you, like I said, what you up to? Oh, I have no idea. You don't know what you're up to. And I think for me, like seeing that honesty, but just at least the eagerness to learn and understand. And obviously your brother played a big part, as me knowing him and you being part of his blood, just made the transition smooth and easy. And I can say not just because, we're friends and I'm your coach, but I can say also in all honesty, when you were talking about like the void, like you were trying to fill a void, I've noticed that when it comes to training and even this podcast, even the brand, like it's nice to see someone put so much effort into it. So the same way that you put effort into your training, and we've come a long way, man. We've come from not being able to squat. You know what I mean? Like you laugh about it now, but it was unbelievable. We're going back from like stiff hamstrings, just all posterior chain to being able to clean and jerk, 100 plus. So mashallah for you, bro. It's
thank you, man.
amazing. And it's been actually a short journey too. It feels, well, for me it feels long. I have to be half psychiatrist, half strength coach. But I mean, again, in all honesty, it's been a great journey, and seeing you grow has been amazing.
Thank you.
I like to also, another story that I need to put out here is I don't know if you remember, we spoke about it quite recently, but there was a moment where, just as like confused as you were when you were in primary school, high school, moving to uni, uncertain about where and what you want to do, you had that in sport too.
Yeah, man.
So I'll bring you back to when you were so eager to learn weightlifting, then moved to powerlifting. A week later, Spartan race. A week after that, CrossFit competition. You know, then High Rocks. It was like in a span of 6 months, you wanted to do 6 different things of 6 different modalities. And, you know, as much as it's nuts, it's absolutely nuts to even think about. But for me, the silver lining was the fact that you were out there to try and figure out what you want to do. And that's the beauty about it. I think at the end of the day, like, we're never too old to learn. We're never too old to find, I almost want to say, like, new skills, you know, find out new hobbies. Even for myself, you know, like, I mean, I'll give you a background about me. I was born in Cape Town, South Africa. And there was a running joke in our family because, I don't know if you know, Johannesburg is the capital. But I've only visited the capital twice in my whole life since I was born. So I've been to Johannesburg twice for reasons it doesn't need to be spoken on the pod. But so Cape Town's a cool city. It's built on tourism. It's a great place. It's born there. And if you don't know much about South Africa, the number one sport is rugby. It's obviously a brutal sport, very physical. And when I was younger, that's all I watched. It's all I played.
All you had passion for?
It's all I cared about. Like academics, bruh.
Leave that to you, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Leave the academics to the nerds, you know?
Yeah.
So
I could actually see like you being that bomber jacket jock guy, plays rugby.
well, to make matters worse, I went to an all-boys school, so like I only blame myself for the person that I turned out to be. You know, like I wanted to be this savage human being that, you know, knew how to look after himself and that had, you know, tough, I wouldn't say tough upbringing, but just tough norms and things that got instilled into me. And it was just who I was. It's how my family were. We lived a very simple life, and rugby was a big part of that life. From primary school, I mean, I started when I was 5 years old, you know?
Could have made the CrossFit Games.
Could have. No, I'm joking. When it comes to pro sport, it's always 0.01%. But, you know, that was my upbringing. And from primary school, I went to high school. Like I said, all-boys school. And it was great. You know, we were in the heart of the valley, so in Stellenbosch, Winelands country. And that place, it's built for students. It's like a student hub. Like the best way I can explain to people about it is like, think of American schools or American universities that are built around football. Like, let's say, like Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people go to that university
just to play football.
Just to play football, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of school that I went to. The school was literally like designed for rugby, which was great. It was a great 5 years. It was awesome. And from there, obviously, what was studying, just studied to get by.
Out of the window, man.
Yeah. And played rugby all the way through, did really well, ended up going to university and did the same thing. And I, after my first year, things academically didn't go as well as planned. So had to redo a few subjects and build my way back up. And that same sport mindset, though, when it comes to playing sport, is I only found out later when I was getting older that if it wasn't for playing sport at such a young age and learning to lose, learning to play in a team, learning to play a specific, whether it was catching a ball, passing a ball, communicating, talking, getting upset, crying, being happy, like all these little elements, like kind of like built up from a young age. Like you build all these little factors into your, I almost want to say like into your DNA. And it really does help you when you branch out. The only negative is when you're doing the same thing over and over, you're kind of uncertain what to do when it's done. Because when it comes to sport, there's always an end game.
Yeah, of course, man.
So after uni, I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? And I wanted
go professional, maybe.
That was the plan, but yeah, I didn't get a Al Nasr growth spurt, put it that way.
Okay.
I stayed under 6 foot, bro. But yeah, after uni, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, at the time I was studying engineering, and I still had this like rugby dream, whatever. So I was like, maybe I can just hang on for a bit longer. And then I got this opportunity to come work for an engineering firm in Qatar. And I was like, do I still play rugby? Like, do I give it one more shot, or do I go over? So I went for the latter, mainly because also like parents and things like that, you know. At the end of the day, I think during that time too, like people, not even just my parents, people in general didn't think that anything outside of professional sport could make money. It would have just been a hobby. Like, for instance, like even trying to become a physio. Like that, originally when I left high school, I wanted to study sports science. My parents were like, why would you want to study that?
That's not going to feed you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was all about what can make you go work at a 9 to 5 and earn a salary. It was like accounting, engineering, school teacher, you know, like all these.
Arab Parents 101.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Western Parents 101 too. But yeah, exactly. It was anything that you could find for a 9 to 5. And I genuinely didn't want that. But anyway, followed suit. So I came over to Qatar, worked for an engineering firm. And during like this whole process, I ended up finding the rugby club here, met some mates that played some. I even played football here for I think it was like Swansea FC or something like that. So kind of like led my way through, and without telling anybody, I was studying sports science on the side because I was so interested into it. Like I was interested about the human body and things like that. So yeah, was studying that as like a part-time qualification.
I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Tell me about that degree, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's something that I wanted to do like ages ago, and yeah, after university, when I headed over to Doha, I was like, that little void you talk about, I felt relatively the same thing. Because when I was working at the company, I'm someone that like gets really frustrated when I can't move forward. Like if I don't see progress, I just want to leave, which is kind of a bad trait, because what happens is your CV becomes like 13 different pages of different places you've been. So you look like you're not loyal, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, at the time, the NOC system in Doha was a little bit tricky. Like you couldn't just leave companies. You needed to get a letter of basically recognition to leave. So I was like, okay, I'm going to write it out. And then I studied a bit of quantity surveying on the side, and then I fell into this gap of sports science. So I started studying like human body mechanics, nutrition, X, Y, and Z. And while I was doing this, I had a buddy that owned a gym in Doha that I met. And we went out one night, and he told me, hey, bro, come try out this thing called CrossFit. And I was like, what?
Oh.
He's like, yeah, come try CrossFit, man.
I thought you were always a CrossFitter.
Never. No, 2013, it was basically bodybuilding and playing rugby. It was like it was basically get big and strong so that you can run over people.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, that's rugby mentality.
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I did the odd power clean, but it was just back squat, deadlift, bench press, and then accessory work. And then the rest was on the field, like running, agility work, hand and eye coordination, throwing a ball, etc.
I would say like the transfer of rugby to CrossFit was pretty easy. It's because like you pretty much do the same thing.
Well,
I mean, except
The
gymnastics.
mentality is the same.
Yeah.
So like the grunt work and suffering and, going as hard as you can until the wheels fall off. The rugby's big negativity is the fact that you'll get injured. I mean, if we had to run face to face into one another and you do that over 10 years, something's going to fall off eventually, unless you made out of different minerals. But yeah, so it was, so 2013 when I came to Doha, I was still dabbling in other stuff, and my friend told me, yeah, come try it out, man. Year goes by, I was like, psh, this is CrossFit nonsense. And then by the end, beginning of 2015, he was still around. He's like, come on. Like, that's what I was saying. So we went out. He's like, I tell you what, come do a session. If you don't like it, I'll like give you your cash back, or I'll pay for dinner type of thing. So it's like, okay, cool. So the following morning, I woke up, went to this CrossFit gym, and I loved it. The strength part was deadlifts. It was like, okay, we're going to do deadlifts. They gave us sets, percentage. I was like, yes.
If it was gymnastics that day, man, you would have still played rugby.
100%. I swear, if it was like butterfly pull-ups or bar muscle-ups, it would have been a disaster, bro. I swear to God, it would have been, I'd be like, peace, I'm out of here. But it just so happened it was deadlifts, and we went heavy. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hit a decent set. I felt great. And then the workout was, I can't remember exactly, but it had to do with running, squats, and something else. I think rowing. Anyway, like some kind of
erg.
Yeah, but it wasn't a difficult workout in terms of technicality. So I don't know if he programmed it specifically to bait me in, but anyway.
It'd be smart if you do that.
I agree. Well, he sold me. Like I bought into it 1,000%. I was like, from day one, 100% committed. I was like, what do I got to do? How much is the membership? When do I sign up? How many classes you have a day? How many am I allowed to do if I pay? Like, it was like 100% commitment, bro. I was training like 2 sessions a day. Sometimes I did class back to back. It was just nuts. Like, I was so invested into it because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And like the skills that you learn, it was amazing. Like rugby almost went out the window. Like I forgot what that was, and yeah, I mean, since then till now, it's been obviously happy days. The nice thing is also is that CrossFit and rugby kind of like it did go hand in hand in terms of it kept me fit, kept me strong. And yeah, it allowed me to at least still play both sports because, Cattl's got a national team and I played for them for 3 years.
And how was that time, man? Like that was just like...
That was just before I stopped at the end of COVID, just before COVID. So it was 2019. So I think it was from 2017, 18, 19.
That was before like the big knee injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I played for Doha Rugby, and then I got nominated to play for the national team. So anyway, played for an international, bro.
I mean,
I made it. Big leagues, baby.
You made it. Easy.
Even though they're third division, nobody cares.
No. You're a professional.
Exactly. And got my pro card, So I made the national team, which was awesome. Playing for Cattle was a really great experience. I have some of the best friends today that still live in Doha, and they live outside of Doha, that played for that national team, and the memories that we've had together is unbelievable.
Are there members that are like still playing at the time that you were playing?
Yeah, there's two athletes that still play.
Are there like the veterans of the group?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like those 2 wise guys in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, absolutely. Man, it was great times now that I actually think about it.
What I want to add also about CrossFit. So, what really got me into it, I was like, I remember I walked into the zone. I did this class. It was a snatch session. Man, I didn't even know the name of the movement. I was just swinging a barbell around, and I remember that.
Who was coaching you, if I may ask?
I think it was Mate.
Okay.
I think. So I was just swinging a bar. Oh, TJ, sorry.
Okay.
TJ was
Great.
coaching me. So I was just swinging a barbell around, and my brother was in the corner, just looking dead straight at me. And you were with him. You were bench pressing. He was just like judging me from afar.
Really?
Yeah, like
He's a judgy guy.
man. Like,
He's a judgy guy.
tell me about it, man. I have to live up to that expectation every single session.
Oh, when this podcast comes out, Dino, we have to tag him. Anyway.
Anyways,
so
man, I was
tell
just
me.
swinging a barbell. I remember it was like a technique bar, and with like fives on the side.
For people that don't know, when Abdullah is saying a technique bar, what he means is the barbell is almost as light as a PVC, which is plastic. So we're talking like 7.5, 10 kgs?
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay.
So with like fives on the side, I would say like how much?
Those
is that?
those like big bumper plates? So
Like
that
those
it gi-
big plastic
Yes,
ones.
so they give you the base. So if you're on the floor, it still gives you the real practicality of where that barbell will be placed. If you had to
I'm
lift
talking
it,
about
right?
like the big white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about them. Their purpose is so that you can at least still set your line if they're on the floor. So imagine you had the small little 5 kg plates. You'd have to
You'd
be
start way lower.
correct.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that, because the fact that those big bumper plates, even though they're light, they look like you're doing something great. but its main purpose is so that the line on the floor and where you're setting up is at its true position.
Yeah. I was doing the snatch class. Man, like it was a disaster. It was like I remember I was like just like swinging the barbell around, and then like my shoulder really felt it.
Okay.
And I was like, no, this is not for me. And plus I was wearing runners for a lifting class. And then Nasr was judging me for
again.
that. Like, it's my first class. I'm not supposed to get out of the gear straight away.
Absolutely.
So, man, I hated snatches from that day. Okay. And then I did a Metcon. Danny was coaching it. I remember me leaving mid-class.
Really?
Mid-class, man.
Gas.
As soon as he said assault bike, I'm out. Man, and even after that class, I was like, I'm way too embarrassed to walk in the zone anymore.
Okay.
I'm just gonna train at Irada. Man,
That's hilarious, bro.
man, like I remember like me walking into Irada. I was just like doing some random stuff, man. Like the stuff that you do at Barry's.
Okay.
Yeah, like some dumbbell squats, glute bridge.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Barry's. their classes are legit, man.
No, I mean it's nice, man.
Yeah.
I love their
No,
conditioning.
I get you.
It's
No,
just
I
like-
know what you mean. You're basically thumb sucking something to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to walk into a gym and do something and leave. I want to feel something and come out.
Yeah.
It was a nice transition. I mean, thanks to you gave me a pathway, even though like in the beginning I was like, why am I doing resistance band stuff? Like I want to swing around weights. But I was like, no, okay, this is a part of the process. I have to respect it, and I'm just gonna continue. The day where I was like really committed to CrossFit, and I was like, yep, I see results. I'm gonna continue. It's two events. When I hit my first 100 kg deadlift. No, it's something stupid, but like I did it even for 4 reps, man. So I was like, yeah, okay, I see results, I'm gonna continue. And even in the Concept 2 bike, I could barely do it for 1 kilometer. when I did it I remember you gave me a workout which was like 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers with some wall balls. When I did that, I was like, nope, this is it. This is CrossFit right here. So yeah, I just stuck to the plan, and
That's awesome.
yeah.
It's weird how there's a specific trigger that like links up to someone, and they go, boom, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is it. You know, and all that, like all those hours of suffering and training and doing the silly stuff like the banded accessory work, the mobility drills, like it's weird.
Mobility is like,
But look how far you've
changed
come, bro.
a lot of things, man.
Legit. Look how, for me, that's the most impressive thing about you. Is like when you started, you couldn't touch your toes. We laugh about it today, but it's legit.
That's the
like,
truth, yeah.
And your overhead mobility, hip mobility, like everything. Remember how you used to do those? There was like, you still do it today. There's like a baseline test that you take to see where your overhead mobility is, where your hip mobility, ankle mobility, all of that, right?
Yeah.
When we started, it was like 16%, 50%, 30%. Now, like everything's in the 80 plus, which is insane. And then I'll never forget too, because like when we used to do the sessions together, I'd give you the bands and you just try and fly through them, where I feel like sometimes that boring stuff is like, that's your baseline. Like if
that's
you
the
nail,
game changer.
Yeah, if you nail that, everything else is going to follow, you know? It's
And plus, like also, and to add to my point, after doing CrossFit for, I think it was 3 months, 3 months around that, there was this deadlift comp organized by Power Movement. I saw the ad on Instagram and I sent it to you and I'm like, hey, should I do it? And you're like, yeah, bro, go do it.
That was part of your 6-month transition journey. Yeah.
Me trying to find myself.
Find it, yeah, exactly.
So I remember the fear that I felt signing up. I was shaking, man. Like I had to fill out the form 3 times before submitting it.
Wow.
I was scared. I was dead scared. So I remember we had a week of prep. We had this one max out session and like a week of just like a few drills, technique work.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks before the comp. We had 1 week to build up percentage. We had one week of essentially 2 like relatively big max out sessions, and then the last week of the competition we did like not a deload, but like just flow, accessory flow.
Yeah.
I say 3 weeks, I'm talking like 15 days. So like 5 day.
Yeah, you just made it a day into the 3rd week.
Yeah.
So the day of the competition comes by, I felt nerves like I've never felt before. Especially like if you would ask me how I felt on that stage, I'll tell you I don't know. Like I don't even remember a thing that happened. I just saw a bar and I lifted it. So, and like even on my 3rd attempt, it was a PR for me. I hit 165. Yeah. Like the happiness that I felt. And I was like, yep.
Big energy.
Those weeks of training, yeah, this is what it's for. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to feel that again. And coincidentally, Spartan announced that they're doing a race in Salalah a day after the competition, and you posted. So I was like, should I do it? Before even you reply, I signed up. Like it's like I'm giving you notice like, hey, I signed up.
Yeah. Not can I do it? I am doing it. Yeah. Help.
No, but it was a journey, man. That Salalah journey.
That was more impressive for me than your deadlift.
Yeah, of course.
The fact that, I mean, again, we had what, 5 weeks?
Yeah.
It was 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
And it was your first, it was 21 kilometers, right? So it was your first 21 kilometer race.
I never ran a marathon before, by the way.
With obstacles. It's nuts. It's nuts. It just shows you what the body can do, and willpower as well.
Man, like I remember even like let me tell you the story of this trip. It was crazy. So I walk in with so I signed up with my friends. We were in the Majlis. I was like, who wants to do this Spartan race with me? They're like, oh yeah, what's this? What's a Spartan race? So I explained the idea to them. No one wants to do it. Even though like there are a few people who are athletic, it's just no one wants to do it. There is this one guy, Tamim. He's the opposite of athleticism. He's like a complete opposite. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it with you. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So we trained together. This guy, I remember like, he couldn't even continue half of a training session in the beginning. In the end, I was the one that's like giving up, and he's the one that's cheering me on. Like, come on, you got this, man. Like, you remember that moment? I think we were in Irad Al Khor. You gave us a workout that was like 75 calories on the assault bike. I did like 50 and ditched.
I caught you.
Man.
I never forget. I caught you. You just walked off. I'm like, did you finish 75?
No, and Tamim actually finished the 75, and he was calling me like, hey, come back, finish the 75. And then like at that moment, I'm like, man, mentality changed. Willpower is a thing. And then we go to Salalah. The trip was so hectic. I remember like, apparently Salalah is like stuck in the 80s. They don't they don't believe in Apple Pay. And I left and I left my wallet back in Qatar.
How did you get? So you didn't? Okay, hang on. You packed all your stuff for the race, right? You and Tamim get in a car together, head off to the airport. All right. You don't have your Qatar ID. You only have your passport, right?
Yeah.
So you entered into another country with the only documentation or any
passport. Passport, bro. I don't even have a single credit card. I was like, man, hey, Apple Pay.
Yeah.
It's because like I don't remember the last time I actually used my wallet for something.
2 problems. Studying in the UK, origin of Qatar.
There you go.
It's the two issues, bro.
Man, I really don't remember me using my wallet. So I go into Salalah. When you walk, as soon as you walk into the airport, it's like you're back 20 years. It's a nice vibe. Like if you're trying to get away from people, you want a vacation, go to Salalah. It's so isolated, man. I go out the airport. I get into a cab. I tell him, let's go to this hotel. We reach the hotel, and he's like, pay me. How should I pay? He's like, cash. And I'm like,
did you start washing his car?
Man, I mean, bro, a lot of people did us a lot of favors that day.
Shame, man.
It's because like cab drivers, like, man, they were so kind over there. Like they were like, oh no, it's fine. Qataris and Omanis are one. It's fine. You don't have to pay. And then I was like, man, I feel that like, oh,
deep.
Yep, no, I have to pay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then I call my brother Nasr. Hey man, I forgot my wallet back in Qatar, and he's like, how am I supposed to like fix this issue? I'm like, yeah, just send me money through Western Union. And then he's like, how are you going to collect the money if your only identification is a passport? And I'm like, no, it's fine, I'm gonna manage. He sent me the money. I went to like 3 different Western Unions to take out the money until one of them accepted. And I was just carrying around a hunk of cash just to figure out what I'm doing. Anyways, it was a wild journey, man.
How many days were you? It was Oman, right?
Yeah.
Salalah, yeah. So how many days were you there before the race? 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. 2 days. A day and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Do you remember how long that race took you?
4:30, I think. Like 4 hours and 30 minutes, around that.
So just to give context, all right, you went from spending 15 to 20 seconds doing a 1 rep max lift to 5 weeks later spending 4.5 hours of activity in one event.
I lost so much weight, man.
That's wild, bro.
I mean, hey, when I look at the pictures on my phone, back to the days when I was training for Spartan. When I look at my pictures and I'm like, man, that's easily like 10% or 11% body fat. Like I was so lean. At the deadlift comp, I weighed in at 80 kilos, around like 79 or like 80 kilos. Just before Spartan, just before I went to the airport, I weighed in at 74.
You lost a kilo a week?
Man, 74.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's like probably the lightest I've been in a long time. Since like middle school, maybe.
All right. After Spartan, you came back.
Man.
What was the next journey, bro?
The next journey, it wasn't really set in stone. It's because after Spartan, I felt so weak. It felt like I've lost all of that momentum from the deadlift comp. So we hop on a strength cycle, everything works out. And then I signed up for a weightlifting comp on February. It was a week before AFOUR. And we started working to that.
Was that Barbell Club?
Oh, no. It was back in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but we enjoy... the process really showed me like how minor details in weightlifting really make a difference.
Absolutely. Sorry, for weightlifting, we're talking about clean and jerk and the snatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those you're right, minor details make the world of difference. And there's a mind game behind it. The way that people adjust the weights, how they shuffle like between weight ranges to give them more time. Like I said, the mind game behind it too. And also there's a lot of pressure, especially in hitting your first lift. So the anxiety coming in to hit your first lift, your entry lift for the snatch and the clean and jerk is like, I've seen people fail it for no reason, and it's like 85% of their 1 rep max. It's something that they hit
on the
daily.
Yeah.
Daily, man. And they'll wobble, make a mistake. So that pressure it's insane. Especially in the fact that like if you look at the 3 different like activities that you did, the deadlift's like super raw, it's like, brute strength, and you move to this endurance race where the energy's high, people are supporting, cheering, shouting, to weightlifting, which is like technical, smooth, everything's quiet, like you can hear a pin drop before you start lifting. It's like,
man, I would never forget my first attempt snatch. Like I spent a good 7 seconds of me just holding the bar, just looking dead straight at the ground. I'm not even joking, man. 7 seconds.
You were counting.
7 decent seconds of me just on the bar, just like this,
bro.
Man. And then I got it. As soon as you hit your first lift, you're like, okay,
you're good.
Yeah. We got this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like the faces of people and the amount of eyes that are on you. It like that bugs me, man. Like it's like, and then I look at the barbell and I'm like, oh, this is not 500 kilos. What are you looking at?
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Absolutely, I agree. Dude, I want to bring it back quickly. the deadlift competition that you did, that was like the first breakthrough into experimenting with health and fitness and sport in general. Was it because of that competition that made you want to bring a similar entity for QS Liverpool?
Absolutely.
So that's where like AFOUR really started.
Absolutely.
That's where almost want to say like the conception of your idea broke through.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It's just after that comp, it's a moment of realization where I was like, yes, I want to do this. It's like, just like I can compete. It doesn't matter where I finish. It's something for me.
I get
It's
you.
just
like absolutely.
Like even the process. It's like it's always you against yourself.
Correct. A PR is a PR. Whether you came 10th, it doesn't matter. You came first in what you lifted. Your goal was to hit X, and you hit that X, and that is a win. That's a gold.
Exactly.
You know, that same feeling that you had at that barbell competition is exactly the same endorphin people get when they win an Olympic gold, or if they win a boxing match, or if they win a football tournament. Like the same feeling that people get when they win a club football game is exactly the same endorphin people get when a team wins the World Cup. It's just everything is just heightened on a different level, but the actual feeling is the same. So the reason why I'm asking you this is because I'm just also, we never really got time to talk about the details about how you actually got into pushing a weightlifting comp in Liverpool. I remember you coming to me and you told me, listen, this is what I'm thinking of doing. And obviously we went back and forth, and we came up with this idea, and we pushed it forward, and we got all the nitty-gritties and the details down, and then off you went to go landing a successful competition. But that day when you did that deadlift comp, okay, like you said, that's what sparked you to do this event in AFOUR. Was there anything that had been done like that before in Liverpool for the GCC residents and all the Qataris in general?
Never in the UK.
Okay.
At all. Never. It's just the way that I felt after that competition, that sense of achievement, that I've achieved something for myself. I challenged myself to do this, and I did it. And plus, because of that competition, I feel confident enough to compete. It's just like I'd never have the same mentality of just, hey, sign up for this competition. No way I'm signing up for that. World-class elites are in it. I'm going to finish dead last. It's you against you, man. Like, if you're always going to look at this one guy who's better than you, you're never going to succeed. It's just like always improve. Even if you improve by like 1 rep, 1 kilo, 1 more second on that treadmill or anything, that's an achievement. You have to always walk into the gym week in, week out, and you've achieved something. 1 second more, 1 more rep, 1 more kilo, doesn't matter.
I see.
And that's the same mentality I wanted to give people in AFOUR.
Okay.
So
that feeling of accomplishment.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And plus, like, giving them that feel that, hey, you could compete. It's not just all about, hey, professionals, and like,
okay,
yeah.
So
top 1%.
You wanted to create an environment,
a safe haven.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember when I brought up the idea, I brought it up to the committee in QS Liverpool. They loved it. Straight away, they loved it. It's because they know exactly what I'm talking about based on my deadlift comp. It's because like they've seen it. So we start organizing everything, and then when other people hear about it, they were like, why are you making a powerlifting comp? Why are you hosting a powerlifting comp? And like no one would sign up. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I know the people in this town, and I know that they take competition with honor. No matter what it is, if they lose, that's like something on their honor. Like it's something with like people in my age in general. If like they always want to be the best, they always want to be on that podium. They want to lift the heaviest. They always want to be the best in everything. So I remember that there was this one guy. I don't even know. He's younger than me. He sends me a message through Instagram, and he's like, I want to sign up for this competition, but I don't know where to start. Do you mind helping me? And I'm like, yeah, for sure, man.
That's amazing.
Bro, I remember I stayed with him for like a solid month. Teaching him the cues of a deadlift, some of the accessories that I used for the deadlift comp, some strength pieces. This guy shot his deadlift from 100 to 175.
MashaAllah.
Bro, I was shocked when I saw him.
Amazing.
And then like you have, of course, there are some people who are like way fitter in the competition. There's this pro bodybuilder. He's a Saudi. He has a pro card, and he's a university student. It's
nuts.
Crazy story, man. He walks in, and then he's like, yeah, I never deadlifted, but I want to sign up. My friends are telling me. It's like a week out of competition, and I'm like, okay, max out and then just deload. Just know what you're working with. This guy maxed out until his third attempt on the day. 215.
Wow.
And man,
Awesome.
yeah, bro, it's unbelievable. It's like the energy that was created from AFOUR and the community of people that were brought in together and the people that I got to know. It's crazy, man. It's just how can one and plus like I wasn't even sure that the same community that's here in Qatar, the CrossFit community, the powerlifting community, the weightlifting community, I wasn't even sure that if that's something that the students over there would accept or
Took
take
a chance.
in.
You took a chance.
I took a chance. People loved it. It was crazy. And then after the competition, a lot of people walked into me. When is the next one? When is the next one? You should make a full one. You should back squats, bench press, deadlift. Why don't you make a CrossFit competition? I had a lot of people that want a CrossFit competition. It was crazy, man.
Dude, that's so awesome. Well, I mean, on that topic, when is the next one, Abdullah? No pressure, bro.
That's on the new committee to decide.
Well, I hope it's definitely going to be within this year, man.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
If not, early next year for sure. Out of curiosity, gun to your head, what would you want AFOUR 2.0 to be? Would it be another just plain deadlift competition? Would it be more functional? Is it going to still be in the line of powerlifting? Nothing set in stone here, buddy. We just like to see where your head's at.
I haven't really put much thought into it, but I would say most likely either a functional competition or a full-on powerlifting competition.
So that would include the back squat, deadlift, and bench press.
Yes.
Okay. So that seems like it would be probably over 2 days, correct?
I thought about it logistically while hosting AFOUR. AFOUR was supposed to be a full powerlifting meet. It's just I have to start from the morning and then finish at like nighttime. And I know that like, man, Arab people have a temper that's so small, they can't... Nobody's going to stay to watch from the morning till the end. So I was like, yeah, deadlifts. It's like
what if you made it morning, then the afternoon chill, and then come back in the evening?
Arab people don't work like that, man.
Oh, is it?
They wake up at noon.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Well, then a 2 or 3 day event would probably be ideal for something like that.
Most likely. Yeah.
So come in, you've got your 4 to 6 hours, and then next day,
Yeah,
finish off.
probably like first day back squats, bench press, then the last lift, deadlift.
Okay.
I would say why I chose deadlift, it's because like, as I said, everyone could do it, and plus like it's the lift that you wait for in all powerlifting competitions. Like nobody wants to see a 2-inch range of motion bench press. Nobody wants to see that, or like a back squat that's like, you get what I mean, just below parallel. They want to see people like lifting mad weights from the ground.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see AFOUR 2.0 kick off. I think it's going to be great. So
Coming to your town.
We'll see what happens in the future. Tell me, bro. Let's talk a little bit about sports and fitness in Qatar. I mean, your time in Liverpool's coming to an end. You're moving back to Doha soon, aren't you?
1 more year.
1 more year.
It's the home run.
All right, cool. Hey, last set, best set, eh?
Yep.
Let's go, baby. Finals. What would you say, specifically in Doha, would you change in sport and recreational sport, in this country?
I would say the involvement of universities and the younger generation. It's because like you see the big culture of sports in the US, in the UK, in all countries. It's just Qatar lacks that. Like universities over here, schools over here, like they lack the motivation of students to compete, be athletic, be fit and healthy. It's just like, hey, do your exams, leave. That's all. Like when I went to the UK, I've been into many universities' gyms and facilities and what they offer for you just to become fit and athletic. It's crazy, man. Like facilities of like top-notch gear, competitions, a chance for people going pro. It's unbelievable, man. It's crazy.
What I've noticed in Qatar is, if you look at the universities here, I think in terms of facility, I think it's the best in the world, to be honest. You look at Aspire, look at Aspetar, Education City, like it's insane the facilities that they have. The running tracks, the gyms, the pools, the pitches. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But I think the biggest lack here is the grassroots element. So if you look at football, rugby, cricket, all these major, American football, NBA, all of these major sporting events, the countries themselves that host these events or have athletes from these specific sporting events, all of it comes from school, primary school, university, from university then to pro. So these kids are playing from a young age, man. And they encouraged to play. Their families are supporting them to play this sport. And I feel like here, there's a bit of that lack between encouragement, like get outside, go find a sport that you enjoy and explore, to this, it's more important for you to study, get your good grades, go to university, get your degree, work for your master's, come back, work for a job, earn good money, and then you're off to the races. So that link between encouraging your child to actually play sport and not keeping them in a bubble, in case they're going to get hurt or anything like that. I think there's a fine line there. The grassroots element of sport in general in Doha, I feel, is the lack. And I think that's also why a lot of the times you have academies bringing in players from a young age, kids from a young age, from all different parts of the GCC, North Africa, a little bit of I would say
Europe
almost like-
even.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that is Qatar's goal, because I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to sporting events, it's all over. I mean, you know, this Ramadan specifically, I have not seen so many events, specifically football events, paddle, tennis, CrossFit, endurance, cycling, running, triathlon. I mean, you name it. Anything that was outside this Ramadan was happening. And it was like bang, every week. Almost every major company, you know, whether it was Ooredoo or Ministry of Interior, they all had football events, like internal.
Exactly, yeah.
It was amazing. It was so cool to see. But yeah, in terms of professional athletes, I think that's where the lack is slightly. Because the only reason why also I say that is I had an opportunity to go to Qatar University, and their sport facilities, like, bro, it's wild. Like, they have
Everything.
and more. It's like, what it would be a pro athlete's like dream. It's amazing. So I just wonder, you know, like how these kids and students specifically utilize these facilities. I wonder if it's just like a recreational use, or if they've actually got, you know, I want to say, not events, but like programs in place for these kids to become athletes, or even not if it's not professional athletes, at least just I almost want to say like get better at a sport, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
so
I'd say the best people who like really really gave people the passion to use these facilities in Qatar University, Barbell Club, when they did their Qatar University powerlifting meet. It was wild, man. They got the biggest hall. They brought in Miso Hassona. It was a 3-day comp from how big it was. They had this massive warm-up area. Like, it was even more fancier than the World Weightlifting Championships.
it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's just like, and that's just powerlifting. What if it was like track and field, rugby, football, weightlifting, CrossFit even? Why not?
Absolutely, I agree. I was thinking as well, you know, with just in terms, again, with just general sport, health and fitness, do you think that the sporting sector, university sectors, like, let's not non-pro, we're talking just uni, right? These university sectors, I feel like a lot of the times also there's not a lot of advertisement about it. You know, like, for instance, if you didn't know someone that participated in barbell, in that barbell competition, or if you didn't actually know the barbell club personally, how would you know that there was going to be a competition there?
I wouldn't say that about the Qatar University powerlifting meet. It's like other meets earlier on, maybe. It's just this meet was so big that I'm not even a student in QU, and I even got like a message from them like, hey, we're hosting a powerlifting comp from Barbell Club.
The exposure was good.
It was crazy, man. It was like congratulations to Barbell Club. It was something out of this world. It's just what I really can't stop thinking about is just that's only powerlifting. Just powerlifting. You have a whole different aspect which is undiscovered and untouched territory. Like what could happen from that?
I like where your head's at, man. That's awesome. It's exciting, actually. Some cool prospects ahead. Yeah, dude. So, anyway, I forgot to tell you. So when we're coming off a massive segue here, sorry guys, jumping back into my past. What I wanted to tell you is how I got actually into like the realm of sport and fitness. So I was playing rugby, and for those that don't know, I did a full house on my knee, which is essentially almost every ligament on my right knee was taken out.
He blew his knee out.
Literally. And I had to get knee reconstruction done. And the beautiful thing about it was COVID hit 2 months later. So I had my surgery done in end of November. And by February of the following year, 3 months, February of the following year, COVID hit. So I had to do most of my rehab at home. And it was a very interesting time because you have to do a lot of self-study. And of course, I had direct communication with a lot of rehab specialists from Aspetal. But doing it alone is very interesting because you just sleep, bro. Like, you don't need to go to work. All right, you're stuck in your home or your apartment. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's calling you where you are. Why haven't you done this exercise? How are you going to get better? 99.99% of everything that you have to do,
All alone.
all alone, and by yourself. You need self-discipline to get yourself out of this hole. So it was an interesting journey, getting myself back together. But if it wasn't for that, it also wouldn't have driven the sports science part of the education. Because I then actually utilized everything that I studied to try and get back. Look, I didn't do it alone. Again, I had all the specialists and rehab physiotherapists on WhatsApp and on phone call, and I sent them videos and all that jazz. But it was just nice to know that by educating yourself and by learning a new skill and by just practicing something, you can actually you can do it. You can get better. Okay, this is obviously an extreme situation, but just to bring it back, that's exactly the same thing as doing mobility drills or learning a new language, or anything new. If you just put the time and the effort in,
You'll get it.
you're gonna achieve it for sure. So the point I was trying to make was, during this COVID, I had to go through all this nonsense, got myself out of it. And as soon as everything went back to normal, I went from being a die-hard CrossFitter to like bang and clang, let's go, big pump sesh, go as hard as you can, maximum effort, to longevity. Like, where I want to be when I'm 90, I still want to be able to carry my kids or grandkids, I still want to be able to hike a mountain, still be able to walk, still be able to go for a run. And how much of that would be taken out of me before I get there? And the whole term of like accessory work and focusing on like your warm-ups and making sure that you're well oiled and well drilled was like prime for me. Because I think once you as a human being have had like a serious injury, you're always going to ensure that you don't want that to happen again,
Yeah.
And there were these steps that I'll never forget. My warm-ups used to be longer than my workouts. It'd be like legit 45 to 50 minute warm-up to do like a 15-minute imam. Swear. It was
to do like 3 sets of box squats.
Bro, it was wild, man. It was wild. But, it helped. It helped today. Like, my leg is totally fine. I mean, ended up going into...
You could still snatch 100 kilos.
Bang on. Bang on. That actually, that whole thing is, I look at it like this, and I always advocate for it. Like, if you took, let's say, 6 months of your life to try and get better, pick anything. Forget about sport. It can be, again, like I said, learning a new language, meditation, trying to get better at driving. Pick the topic. It can be anything, right? If you took 6 months of your life to dedicate towards that, it's a blip. It's nothing compared to your full lifespan. And that's how I took rehab. I was like, if I nail this for 6 to 9 months, I can live the next 40 years of my life
Perfectly fine.
perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my main thing. And it's interesting. Now I look at my life and I look at like most of my clients.
Max out.
That's all they want. That's all they want to do. But I look at like most of my clients, and my big percentage of my clients have serious injuries or had serious injuries. So it was. I feel like me getting injured was a beautiful segue into me helping other people, and like I think sharing knowledge was like the one thing that you talk about, something that drives you. That was the one thing that drove me. Was like, you didn't have to be a doctor to tell people how to do things properly or understand like a better way of life. Like, I don't need a doctorate to explain to you, I wouldn't say what's right or wrong, but understand the value of what you're doing. Whether it was the value of understanding the value of eating food. Like, you can have a candy bar, but just know if you eat that, you probably also can't have the burger and the pizza and the Coke, you know? Understand that what you're eating is going to compromise into how you're going to look and end up. And that's the same with training. If you put in those small drills and you understand what these drills are going to help you, by the end of it, you're going to have the mobility to squat below parallel or have the perfect overhead position.
Or squat jerk.
Exactly.
The most useless talent you could see.
Yeah, but it's gangster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when you see it, everyone's like, oh,
Bro,
unbelievable.
I from January to like till now, I used to do a lot of mobility drills. My biggest flex when I walk into the zone, squat jerk. Man, like 60 kilos on the bar, squat jerk.
So G, bro. So G. Yeah. So, man, what a cool journey. Tell me, what's ahead for Mr. Abdulla and AFOUR leaning forward? Let's say for the next 3 to 4 months. What's the plan, bro?
3 to 4 months.
Bear in mind, you still got to study in between this tour.
Man, I have an exam coming up. Don't stress me out. I'd say, so we started this podcast. I would say expand this podcast as a news outlet, as a way to get to know people in Qatar that you might see or idolize or famous, to get them to know them better and to know their backstory. That's one of my goals. And other than that, I can't disclose yet. I can't disclose.
It's all good. Keep it a secret. Yeah. You know, the beautiful thing about starting this podcast, number one for me, is everybody has a story. Everyone. You know, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter, you know, how you've started. You know, the journey always continues. And I think if we can use this platform as a place to learn and digest, I would say the beautiful parts of the people that we interview, you know, understanding their why. Just like the day that you hit that deadlift, how that fruitioned into opening up a competition, which then fruitioned into trying to create a podcast to communicate to people and doing events etc. Like, I think that's what I want to get out of people is, understanding their story, where they come from, and how they've come to be the person they are today. Whether it's sport, recreation, whether it's business, I think Qatar's got a hell of a lot of talented people, and there's a lot of personal journeys too that people want to hear. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's weight gain, whether it's endurance, whether it's academia. I think there's also a lot of talented people in this country that we don't know about. People that are. There could be someone sitting in a robotics lab today that we have no idea about. That's busy. He's like the next Elon Musk, man.
Yeah.
And I think with Qatar having all these amazing people from all over the world, specifically even the Qataris in this country, there's a lot of them that are,
They have a lot of undiscovered talent.
Absolutely. And I feel like our next step is to find these people, to talk to them,
Get their message out there.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
I want to ask you the same question.
Tell me.
What's next for Cameron?
For Cam? Well,
Cam, the Iron Man. The two-time Iron Man.
All right. So, if you guys don't know by now, I am 4 weeks away from a Ironman race in Italy, which I decided last week I'm going to partake in. This actually all came about, interestingly enough, is after I had completed my rehab work and I got back into CrossFit and I felt good about myself. I knew that I was stable. I always had this little empty void, like you say, of I need to do something to prove to myself that
I'm still well and fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that number one. But number two was that this knee can do it. It was so weird. But it was like I wanted to prove to myself that after surgery, even if I did the most extreme thing,
You could still do it.
I can still bang it out.
Yeah.
And I mean, if nobody's ever seen me, I haven't got an endurance bone in my body, bro. Like I was designed like a little freaking
hunk of meat.
Yeah, just like one big ball, like it was just all fast twitch muscles. Like 100-meter sprint, no problem. Burpees, no problem. Anything explosive, I'm your guy.
No
man.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm your guy. And I decided to pick something that was outside the realm of my wheelhouse. So I went from someone that did weightlifting and resistance training to climbing on a bicycle, running and swimming. And it was great. It was totally different. I found myself a cool coach, great community. And the one amazing thing also I got out of it, sorry, again, spinning off here, is I didn't realize how big the endurance community in Qatar is.
It's massive. I'd say it's the biggest community out there. It's the biggest. Even like a lot of people from school or like from university that I know, all of them refer to a triathlon or like running or sprinting, swimming, and like there's a lot of them. And then like there's only me who's a CrossFitter. There's only me who like cycles barbells on Instagram.
That's hilarious, man. But it was cool. It was cool to see all these amazing Qatari athletes. And I'm talking young, from university students to kids that have just finished university, to even the older generation, people that work for QP and government entities that are, I'm talking about exceptional athletes, man.
There's this one guy, I forgot his name, but he went to uni with me in Liverpool. There are two guys. You know this man?
Tell me.
Tamim? The guy who did the...
carry on.
Sorry, Tamim. He's looking up your Instagram. The guy who did the Ironman in Bahrain.
He came, I think it was third in Samla.
Third?
I'm almost certain, bro. Listen, we're speaking out of hand here. Hang on. Give me a minute. Sorry, I'm on my
and
phone.
Muhammad Jabr al-Ahbabi, a friend of his.
Tamim Al-Kawari.
Yeah, these two, they went to uni with me in Liverpool. I see what they post. Exceptional athletes, man.
Yeah.
Even Muhammad Jabr, he got the first in the Ooredoo Marathon. First in the 10K.
Insane.
It's crazy, man.
Insane. Yeah. So many cool athletes. So yeah, I'm going to be heading out doing my Ironman race. That's on the 5th of May. And then I'm doubling up with the High Rocks competition on the 11th.
Whole lot of sweating.
Yeah, son. The goal is to not be too banged up. So to have that 1 week recovery to be able to hit the
High Rocks.
The High Rocks competition.
Are you eating enough though?
Absolutely. Look at me, son.
A man, like you need a 10K diet, man.
Yeah. Look, my body composition and your body composition, two different things, bro. You can keep that 4,000 calorie diet going. If I do that, I look like Yokozuna. So no, I am. I'm monitoring my calories very well. I've been very fortunate enough to be able to track and make sure, and I have a good body understanding. So I'll be releasing anyway a video video log or vlog of like daily inputs of the
Stay functional 101.
Yeah. Caught me off guard there. Yeah, so I'm gonna release a vlog just to help the community out. Try and stay relative on social media just to just throw nuggets. So that's my first goal. And I would say after that, after May, I'm really hoping to interact a lot with the, I want to say, community of Doha. We'll start with things that I love, sport and recreation, and have chats and communication and talks and podcasts with these people from all over Doha, whether it's endurance, powerlifting, sport, any form of sport and recreation. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited to be part of the AFOUR. Question. We're going English and Arabic, correct? So we are going to have an Arabic channel linked to this podcast.
Of course, man. We're catering for the general public.
Okay, amazing.
Arabic and English.
That's awesome.
There's no excuse not to watch this podcast.
Yeah, that's banging. I can't wait for it. As well as, I mean, we're having our first podcast here today, and it's been amazing. I've loved talking to you. I mean, it's been so easy. We're friends, and it's always a pleasure to share this table, and we're going to share many more together. But we've had the special opportunity from Here Coffee. They a coffee company here in Doha. Abdullah, take us away.
Here Coffee. Today we were sipping on their notorious and famous V60, which is which blend it was?
It was a blend between Brazil and Ethiopia.
That was really nice, man.
It was stunning. That was
amazing.
They've got different brands, different origins. One is from Ethiopia. They've got their famous blend, as well as El Palto. That's South America, right? Peru.
Peruvian. Yeah.
Great people. Who's the owner?
Do we disclose? Abdulla Al Nasr.
Amazing.
That's a different guy, not me. They deliver on Sununu. They just announced yesterday. Exceptional coffee. I recommend.
What I really, really like about them, to be honest, is when you look at their packaging, they actually tell you, the process, the altitude, the variety, what grind it is, as also if you want it in whole bean or if you want it grinded up for your V60, French press, etc. What a nice little touch is too, it tells you, depending on what package you buy, whether the coffee is suitable for espressos, for the V60s, for the milk-based coffees. And like I said, they've been really kind enough. They got us a nice little mug. Their packaging is awesome, clean cut. And it's been a pleasure to have them on board with us for our first podcast. So thank you to
Here Coffee.
All right, homie. I think we can call it off here.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, man.
First episode. Then.
Yeah, it's been great. I think we got a lot to learn, and it's about getting comfortable. And I hope our viewers really enjoyed their time watching us. We've had a couple of, good moments in between, and I hope our stories that we share to the YouTube community, to the podcast community, and to people that are watching from whether it's the Middle East or anywhere all over the world, any comments or any topics of conversation that they're looking at hearing from us, please don't be shy. Feed it in. Let's see what they have to say.
Of course, man. If you want anything to hear from us, drop it down below. Like, subscribe, share. Man, I never said that before. I used to make fun of it, man.
Awesome, man. Sweet, bro. It's been real.
Right.
See you, bud.
That's a wrap, man.